All right. One more poll question. What and or who tend to trigger strong emotional reactions from me? Maybe it's mom or maybe it's the work related stressors, family related stressors. And when you think family, maybe you're thinking, oh, like, I have a sick parent, or my child is doing this and that. Maybe it's the financial stuff. Maybe there's some health things or other things. Like, what are those things that tend to trigger strong emotional reactions from you? And as you think about those things, we're talking about that because as we think about the who and the what of the inner critic, when we can start to look at these categories of what is causing the stress, what is triggering you, then we can start to walk back those stories. We can start to look more deeply at what are the real triggers, what are the things, and is it really about this situation or is it about something deeper? And often it is about something deeper. Maybe it's about fear of making a mistake or failing at something, or fear of being criticized because you didn't make the quote unquote right decision. Maybe it's because you're playing around with that comparison game. When we compare ourselves to other people, we are always going to end up, let me be careful in saying always. We often end up in situations where we feel less about ourselves. We don't feel good about ourselves because we're comparing ourselves to other people. When we have a race, we have a particular race to run, and we have to stay focused there. So I see the who tends to trigger the strong emotional reactions, family related stressors. That's huge, right? It's family and work. Those are two really big, important parts of our lives. And so now when you start to think about those family related stressors, what are the things, what are the specific things? Is it maybe you have a teenager at home, or, a parent or someone who is saying something that's just driving you crazy. I was texting with a friend earlier, and it was funny. She said that she's always super positive and super encouraging. And she said that she had had a conversation with someone today that really tested her patience. And we talked about it a little bit, and she said it was a family member. It was like an aunt that just kind of was like pushing at her, and like almost like you could say taking her out of her character, right? Or pushing her out of her character. And so often it's the people that we love that trigger things inside of us. And then we have to say, okay, is it about this person, or is it about something else or something deeper? And then we also, another trigger, like I said before, is fear of change, or feeling uncertain, right? Feeling uncertain about what's about to happen. And so one thing that I will mention is I had a client several years ago, and he had this job that he loved, and but he didn't like the people, like several of the people that he worked with. And we had lots of conversations about what the relationships were with those people and why those conversations and the interactions were so challenging for him. And what we came back to, what it ended up coming back to, is that these couple of people in the office reminded him of two family members who used to really drive him crazy, who were always just kind of almost like terrorizing him, right? And they weren't kind to him, they weren't loving to him. And so these two people these people that are in his office, he doesn't like them. He doesn't care for them. His interactions with them are challenged because they remind him of someone else. And not because they're saying things, but because I believe one of them had the same like body structure, like the same stature as one of the family members, right? And so if you really think about it, how many times is there someone that really bothers you, or something that triggers difficult feelings or difficult emotions? And really, it's not about them. They remind you of someone who used to drive you bananas, someone who used to be mean to you, or used to be unpleasant, or would say things that didn't feel good, right? Those people are there to send you, it's a lesson, right? It's an opportunity for you to connect with your feelings and what's, again, happening inside of your body. Why is this person bothering me so much? Because we're just here at work doing this and that, or we're just out and about doing whatever. There have been times when I've been triggered by the smell of someone's perfume or cologne, right? Or the sound of someone's voice, or the way someone said something, even how they chewed, right? Simply because it reminded me, it took me back to a place that didn't feel super positive or encouraging. And when I recognized that that's what was happening, it made me able to have a positive interaction and relationship with that person, and also address, okay, you know what? That thing from my past is still bothering me. It's still hurting. It's still like, it still feels like something.